Hello friend, welcome back. A question which is always being asked to me, in fact every day in all the webinars, all the conferences, meetups, everywhere, how SelectorsHub XPath plugin is different from any other XPath plugin. Why so many people recommends it, why it is being called as an innovative product, what are those really innovative features in this SelectorsHub XPath plugin which are not there in any other XPath plugin. Like every XPath plugin used to generate the XPath selectors, you can copy the values, you can you can inspect or other stuff like you can do in every other XPath plugin. Then how this is different from any other XPath plugin? What is that something special? What are those innovation? Like it is being called and known as innovative products. So how this is innovative? Like what are those innovations? Unique innovation. Nothing like those kind of features should not be there in any other XPath plugin. So what are those exclusive features? So let me just explain and show you guys what are those exclusive features which only SelectorsHub XPath plugin support. No other XPath plugin has those features. So here I have prepared the list of those features which are exclusively supported by SelectorsHub only. Okay, so let me show you guys one by one. The very first one is OneClick plugin access. Now you see that generally when you have to use any XPath plugin, so either you have to it's mostly how we use them, like right click, inspect, open DevTools, and there you go, open SelectorsHub. Or if you are using any other XPath, like for an example I have added here CrossOrigin, so you have to like click on that, you have to open DevTools to use any XPath plugin like this. Or if you have it in your browser or any other type of XPath plugin, then in that case you have to, like here I have also added, let me just show you, just for comparison I have added CrossOrigin and XPath helper here. So here we have to click on this logo, but this used to appear, but you cannot when you will be try to inspect any element, then there will be problem, like you cannot inspect any element here on this page. Either you have to right click and then click on inspect. So anyways you will have to open DevTools, right, to inspect any element, to write here the XPath. Or you will have to open DevTools and then only you can write and verify your XPath here. So that is a kind of challenge in all these XPath plugins. But now in SelectorsHub, you can open SelectorsHub just in one click like this, and at the same time you have the inspector here, so you can inspect the element and you can write your XPath and selectors and you can generate. And this is only being supported by SelectorsHub. You can also open SelectorsHub here as a side panel using the shortcut key Command Shift S if you are using Mac, Control Shift S if you are using Windows. You can also customize the command, so that is there. So this is how you see that just in one click it can be opened, like no need to open DevTools to in fact inspect the element, to get the DOM and all those things. Everything can be done from the SelectorsHub itself. You have the SelectorsHub inspector here and you inspect and you see it here. So this is the very unique feature of SelectorsHub which no other plugin right now, no other XPath plugin has this feature, where you can just click on the logo, it opens as a side panel just in one click or through the keyboard shortcut. Because it actually solves the purpose. Like you can open XPath helper or any other XPath plugin with this, but they come on top of your website, and then you to inspect any element you have to open DevTools. The next feature is need to open only once to use for all the tabs. So this is really amazing that you see, observe this, like suppose if we have to, let me first tell the problem, show you the problem with all the other XPath plugin already which exist. And in fact this was the problem with the SelectorsHub also earlier, but not anymore. Like if we have to use SelectorsHub or any other XPath plugin, we have to open DevTools and then open SelectorsHub or CrossOrigin or any other XPath plugin if you are using. Okay, now if we have to use it on this page, again we will have to right click and open DevTools, and then we have to open plugin. If we have to use it in any other page, then again we have to right click, click on inspect, and then you have to open the tool like this. So you see that in whichever tab we are going, and if we have to generate or write XPath or selectors, then we have to open DevTools and then plugin. Or if you are using this XPath helper also, like if we go to different tab, then also we will have to again click on this. So this is the problem, that we cannot use like we have to open XPath plugin for each and every tab individually, but not anymore. With the help of SelectorsHub, let me just close this on every tab here. Like suppose we are on this, I will also close this. Suppose we are on this, and now we open this only once, and you will see that this always remains here. And now you switch to any other tab here like this, and you find that that is always there. And with the help of this, you can inspect, generate, write your XPath selectors, everything you can do in any other tab as well. Like if you go to this tab and in this tab you want to do anything, that you can also do it here. So it get access, it can like it can make you possible, it can make possible to inspect element on any tab. You just open any other tab here, you go on any tab, this SelectorsHub tab is also always there, and you just inspect. So you need not to open XPath plugin, this SelectorsHub plugin again and again, and no time waste to do that. You just open it once, you whichever tab you are, you will be able to access it, and you will be able to write, generate XPath and selector. So this is one of the, like these are two very unique features of SelectorsHub which only SelectorsHub supports right now. Smart editor, like you see that you can write the XPath and selectors. Like suppose in this also XPath helper, you can write your XPath here. Let's say we are writing here, and you can verify that. But the problem with this, there is no smart editor kind of things. Like in IntelliJ, you see that when you type or any smart editor like IntelliJ, Eclipse, PyCharm, anywhere, you just type dot or start typing, they give the auto suggest while typing, right? That you get in SelectorsHub. So here, as soon as you inspect and then if you start typing, you see that you get the auto suggest here while typing. With the help of that, you can quickly write your XPath and complete your XPath here. So this becomes very helpful, that you can write and verify your XPath here very fast, and you can learn more about the different kinds of XPath. If you are writing CSS selector, so you can learn about those functions of XPath and CSS selector, and you can quickly build up your own XPath and CSS selector. So this is very amazing feature, a smart editor, which only SelectorsHub has. Selectors error handling. Like you see that when you are writing any XPath or CSS selector in any editor or anywhere, they will never suggest you that what is wrong in your XPath. Like for an example, if we write, let's say here this one we are writing, now we made a mistake of single quote here. So this will help you to understand, to learn about this, that single quote is missing. But if you copy this same XPath, paste it in, let's say this XPath helper, it will just tell you invalid XPath. It will never able to tell you that what is wrong in this. If you are using it in let's say CrossOrigin as well or any other XPath plugin, you see that it is not able to tell anything. So this is very helpful feature of SelectorsHub, that it will tell you what is wrong in your XPath so that you can quickly fix that, as well as also it helps you to explore and learn about that what you should write before, after, this syntax, that syntax. So everything it helps you, so which makes a beginner to learn and explore about all the functionalities and all kinds of XPath and selectors error handling. So this is really amazing feature in SelectorsHub. Then CrossOrigin IFrame support. We have very recently added these features in SelectorsHub. Support for CrossOrigin IFrame. It was never possible before, even with the SelectorsHub. Last month only we added this support, and this is really incredible. No other plugin supports this feature. Now we can inspect any element, an element which is inside CrossOrigin IFrame. I have already created a detailed tutorial about it. So if any element which is inside CrossOrigin IFrame, SelectorsHub will be able to inspect that as well. Like you just have to, like through the SelectorsHub inspector on the side panel, you just have to inspect that element and it will tell you each and everything about it. Like you see that alert, this element is inside CrossOrigin IFrame. It is able to tell you, it is giving the iframe XPath, that's CrossOrigin iframe XPath, and the selectors and XPath for the inspected element. And if you hover on the element, it gives you all the information that this is inside iframe, and here also in the red color, red color tooltip, if you notice, this element is inside CrossOrigin iframe, so it gives you that information. Now if you try to inspect this element with any other tool like CroPath, XPath helper, they will never be able to inspect these elements. Like let's say for an example, if we try to inspect this with CroPath here, so you see that nothing is happening here. It is showing you the body selectors. And if we try to write or inspect anything we do with the XPath helper, that will also, of course, because it doesn't generate or anything it do, so that no chance there. So this is the only plugin, SelectorsHub plugin, which supports the CrossOrigin iframe. Then okay, the next one is auto-generated Playright selectors. Okay, so in fact this feature I should have not added this one here, because we were talking about the free version. Auto-generated Playright selectors, but still you can verify the Playright selector in the free version, like exclusive Playright selector which are only generated and supported by Playright. So those, like for an example, if you are on this page, so if you open SelectorsHub here and if we try to inspect any element for which we get the special exclusive Playright selector, so you see that this is a Playright selector which is not like a kind of XPath or like maybe like directly CSS selector. Or let me inspect this one. So you see that this is label colon has text. This is only Playright selector. So this is automatically generated in pro version. So let's not talk about that. Here if we come and you try to verify this Playright selector, you will be able to verify this Playright selector as well in SelectorsHub. While in any other tool, if you go let's say XPath helper and you try to paste it here, you see that it is saying invalid XPath expression. And also if you go to like CroPath, that will also not be able to verify it. And if you go any other XPath plugin also which you use or you might have tried, you go there and try to verify, they will not be able to. So this also supports, like Playright selectors are exclusive supported by SelectorsHub. Then shadow DOM and nested shadow DOM support. This is only supported by SelectorsHub. So you see that you inspect any element here, if that element will be inside shadow DOM, it will immediately let you know that this element is inside shadow DOM and all the script and everything it gives. While if you use CroPath or any other tool, like let me show you with the CroPath here. So you try to inspect any element, you see that nothing is being informed here, and in fact this gives you the wrong information. So you try to inspect any element which is inside shadow DOM, it will not be able to tell, while if you open SelectorsHub, immediately it tells you. Okay, why this is showing on the right side in SelectorsHub like this? Because if DevTools SelectorsHub is being open in DevTools, then in that case side panel will not work. So that's a kind of like a standard thing. If you close this, then immediately it will start working. Okay, then it supports the nested shadow DOM if the element is inside multiple shadow DOM. That has been supported by SelectorsHub only. Like here you see that 2 nested shadow DOM, no other XPath plugin or Selectors plugin supports this. Nested iframe, this also being supported by only SelectorsHub. Like if any element is inside multiple iframe, in that case only SelectorsHub will be able to handle that. Like for an example, this one. So you see that this element is inside 2 nested iframe, and XPath for both the iframes and everything. While if you inspect this element with any other tool, then it will not be able to recognize that. Like if we inspect this element, let's say this one here, so you see that it is like nothing is, it is able to identify like no iframe XPath here, just that it is breaking there. So it is being only supported by SelectorsHub, where it gives you the XPath for all the iframes and for that element. Then iframe inside shadow DOM inside frame, these are like really complicated scenarios which only SelectorsHub supports. So if any element which is inside iframe and shadow DOM, that has been supported by SelectorsHub only. Like for an example, here you see that this is inside single shadow DOM. Okay, let me try to inspect any other element. So this element is inside first iframe, and that iframe is inside shadow DOM. So you see that it is telling you that this is inside iframe. And now if we open this and if I show you in detail here in the DOM like this, So you will notice that this element is inside iframe, and now if you click on this iframe is inside shadow DOM. So this is like SelectorsHub is able to support this, the element which are inside iframe, and then that iframe is inside shadow DOM. Now let me show you the another scenario where shadow DOM is inside iframe. Okay, so here you inspect, let's say this one. So this element is inside shadow DOM, and that this shadow DOM is inside iframe, this iframe. So you see that the level of hierarchy, it supports everything. Element info just by hover. This is really important feature in SelectorsHub. So you notice that if you inspect any element, and if that element will be having any special property, even without inspecting that, like you just select this inspector and hover on this, you see that you got to know, oh, this is SVG element, and you hover on these. Okay, there is nothing special. You can directly inspect and write the XPath and selectors. I'm good. If you hover on this, you got to know, oh, this element is inside shadow DOM. You need not to look at the DOM and see all the information where and scroll up and down. Everything you just got it here, because generally, like without inspecting the element, you don't get to know what kind of element it is. You see that just by hovering on it, you got to know that can't inspect element inside closed shadow root. So these are the really helpful information which you immediately get just by hover on those elements if they will be having any special property. Like if they will be inside iframe, it will be immediately able to tell you that this element is inside iframe or shadow DOM or anything. Like you see that if we hover on this, it tells you that this is inside CrossOrigin iframe, inside iframe. So that information you get it here. Very helpful. Debugger feature. This is really amazing feature which helps you guys to inspect the any kind of dynamic element, any kind of disappearing drop down elements as well. Like for an example, suppose if you are on let's say Flipkart website, and you might have noticed such kind of drop down elements which you try to inspect and they immediately disappear. Like here, if we try to search, let's say iPhone, and I want to inspect this iPhone 12 here, so as soon as you right click, they immediately disappear. So how can we inspect such kind of elements? So you just have to open SelectorsHub. Here you see that debugger feature, it's there in side panel as well. So if you click on this, now if you notice that, you just make that visible within 5 seconds. I have also created a separate detailed tutorial about this feature, and you will be able to inspect this. So SelectorsHub also support this debugger feature, has this debugger feature which makes it possible to inspect such kind of dynamic disappearing element. Even if there is a bubble loader, that also you can inspect. Then XPath Healing. This is really amazing feature. This only SelectorsHub has, where you can verify all your XPath in single shot from a locator page or from a script. Like if you have hundreds of thousands of XPath written inside a page, it could be a locator page or in your script. What you have to do, you just paste complete script in SelectorsHub and it will be able to verify all your XPath just in one go. For an example like this, let's say here we have okay, this is okay, here we have couple of XPath written in this page. So what you have to do, just copy this complete page, go to that page for which these selectors have been written, open SelectorsHub. Here you see that XPath Healing feature is there. Click on this edit button and paste your complete script. Here you select command, click on submit. It will fetch all the XPath from your script, verify, and it will show you if there is 0 match, 1 match, or more than 1 match. So this way, using the XPath Healing feature, you can verify all your XPath. Even if there are thousands of XPath, that also you can verify. So these are some of the amazing features, exclusive innovative features of SelectorsHub, which only SelectorsHub supports. Apart from that, yes, there are many other features, more time saver features. Just right click, copy XPath selectors, and you can generate the locator page. You can generate multiple XPath. You can generate XPath relative to other element. You can generate relative CSS selector, case insensitive. You can generate partial code for your script, locator page. Everything you can do with the help of SelectorsHub. You can generate access based XPath. So there are many more features. These are some of the exclusive features which only SelectorsHub has. And of course, like Pro version has super amazing beyond these features as well. I hope you like this these features of SelectorsHub. Do let me know in the comment section which feature you like most, and were you aware about all these exclusive features of SelectorsHub? With that, thank you so much. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also check out these awesome informative videos and keep watching more videos on SelectorsHub channel. Thank you.